at my home pad in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm excited about having you here with me tonight. I'll tell you what, it's just me here tonight. We've been kind of tag teaming from different perspectives. Last time I think it was Julie, might have been Rafa. A week or two ago, we had our amazing partner Ben a couple of weeks ago talking about our amazing deal-driven app. And but tonight everyone's out. I mean, I think from what I was told by Chelsea, Rafa's working out. Julie is in Tampa with some amazing investors, you know, perfecting her craft. Ben's doing his thing. So here I am with you guys tonight. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. I know as everybody's logging on. It's so funny. We've been doing this like literally for well over a year, every week at the same time. And to this day, I'm still confused. Like when I was logging on here, I was like, I can't see myself. I can't hear myself. Am I here? Wouldn't that be funny? Like I go for like 30, 40 minutes to realize. And I did that once. I actually did that once. I went for like 40 minutes and my phone was beeping. But I shut off and I turned it on just to realize no one saw me, no one heard me. And so I was logging on today. I was like, Chelsea, am I on? Can you see me? Can you hear me? So anyway, as everybody logging on, if Julie was here, I know exactly what she would be saying right now. Tell us where you're dialing in from, or tell us where you're logging in from or calling in from. I know there's various ways to pop on these things. We'd always love to hear from you guys. Like I said, I'm here in sunny Atlanta. And when I say sunny, I mean sunny, because literally I was just outside. Like I just literally got here like 5 minutes ago. There's like, I live in this amazing place called the Beltline. You could walk out of our complex and literally walk for 33 miles in this amazing place called the Beltline, where it weaves and curves through Atlanta, Georgia. And I was out there walking around, so it's like the weather here is killer. But I do know in different parts of the country, it's just different. Some people got really walloped, I heard yesterday. And so tell us where you're calling in from, where you're dialing in from. I'll also tell you, since I don't understand how to use all this technology, I can't even see where you're calling in or dialing in from. But go ahead and let us know behind the scenes. Chelsea is driving this webinar tonight, so I know at the appropriate times, she's going to be posting some appropriate links. I want to share those with you here. I got a couple topics I want to hit with you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about some mistakes today. As much great things as we like to share with you guys, and the positives, all the things that are happening with our partners and the deals and all the great things that are taking place. Sometimes, we got to get on these calls and also tell you guys kind of about the downside of this business. And that's, as we get started here in a minute or so, a couple minutes, I want to talk to you guys about that tonight, kind of give you some realities of some pitfalls of this business. But again, I'm glad you guys are on. We'd like to start here in just a couple minutes. Share with you some really good stuff, and we'll go here. We'll hit it full blown. It's funny, I keep on flashing on and off, so I wonder if it's like in reality I'm literally like flashing off and on in the screen. I hope not. Hope you guys have some big plans coming up here for tonight. I'm actually, after this is over here in a little bit, I'm gonna go out and have some sushi tonight. I don't know if that's like relevant to what we're going to talk about tonight, but that's what I'm going to do. It's funny, my staple, for those of you that have been following us for a long time, my staple because I used to like to do this from my lake house, and my staple from the lake house was cigars. Because a lot of times I would do these out in the patio or, somewhere, something like that. And so I would have cigars, and it was hilarious. Like we do these webinars live, and like for the next day or so, I get these like private messages or text messages from people commenting about my cigars. Some really cool stuff, some like, oh, bad stuff, why are you smoking cigars and all this. And I kind of gotten off cigars. I don't do much of them, maybe once a month if we're kind of in a social setting. But now I kind of like to enjoy a glass of wine, and I feel like Tuesday nights is meant for us to just kind of share, reminisce, talk about what's going on, fill you in on the latest things that are taking place with us, our partners, our deals. So I figure well, as I like to chat sometimes, I like to have a glass of wine. So I hope you guys don't mind tonight. I'll have a glass of wine as we talk. All right, it's about that time. We're about ready to get started here. But here's how I like to start these guys. I like to start out the same way because, first of all, I want to show you why we do these Tuesday night sessions. Been doing them. This is probably as we discussed it internally here, probably the most consistent thing we've done here as a unit is these Tuesday night webinars. And I can tell you from my personal experience, the reason that I think that we've stuck with them for so long and so consistently is the impact they have. The impact they have on the people that come into our world. Like, for instance, when people become our partners, one of the things I always like to ask them, how'd you hear about us? What made you, become a partner? And probably the most consistent answer I get is that I have been following you. I've been watching you. I've been watching the Tuesday night meetings you guys have doing and webinars and all this. So I know for people that are curious in what we do, that are curious in our model, that are curious in what it means to be a partner with us, this is a way to kind of bring us to life, share with you that, we're real people with real situations, doing real life deals. Some deals go great. Guess what? Some deals don't. And we like to share all of that stuff with you. But it's a way for people that are not quite our partners to figure out if they want to become our partners. Because for those of you that maybe not aware of, but we are a partner-driven real estate investment company. What that means is that we have a very, very unusual model in how we do our deals. Now, guys, we're not a new kid on the block. We've been an investment company. I've been at this thing for 20 some years, thousands and thousands of real estate deals behind me. And then some time ago, we realized that, to really grow from our perspective, to really expand from our perspective, to really do more deals from our perspective, we got to have more people that we could possibly do deals with, right? And that was really it. That was the decision. How do we get more people involved in our investment company and in turn through those people grow? Okay. And this is how our investment company turned into a partner-driven real estate investment company. Now, pretty much across the board, 100% of all the deals, real estate deals that we do are as a result of partnering and doing deals with people across the nation. Some of our partners are beginners. Some of you guys are watching this and you're just like, well, why would somebody that's been doing this for 20 years, who's done thousands of deals, why would they partner with somebody who's brand new? Well, the reason we partner with people, let's say they're brand new, is because our most important thing is we need local presence and local markets to do deals. Because in the end, real estate investment is a localized business, any way you look at it. And so for us, it is very, very important that whether we do deal in Chattanooga or Houston or California or New York, in order to execute those deals, we need local boots on the ground. We need local presence, okay? So we need more local partners. From the other perspective, somebody may be looking at us and say, well, Pete, why do I need you? Why do I need your investment company? Where it's very simple. From our end, as an investment company, we provide a lot of things to our local partners, because in the end, when the deals finally do happen, this is people ask me all the time. This is probably the number one question I get. What is my guarantee, Pete? Why would I want to partner with you? And my answer to those people is very simple. There's really no guarantees, but the kind of one fail-safe mechanism to become our partner is very simple. You're using my money in essence, okay? And so think about this, I could tell you you're using my knowledge. Well, If it's just my knowledge, I guess I could screw it up, and if you mess up, it's no harm to me. I could say you're using my tools to execute your deal. Well, if you use my tools and you screwed up, I don't want it, but no skin off my teeth. But you're using my money, okay? So let's get real about this. I don't want to lose money. I don't think you're going to find too many successful businessmen across the nation, I don't care what business they're in, that just haphazardly throw their money around and could give a flying hoot whether or not it ever comes back to them. So the built-in fail-safe mechanism in a whole partnering model is that when deals do come out, since it's my money, we're going to make sure you do it the right way. And to make sure you do it the right way, we're going to make sure that we coach and train you the right way, that you know what you're doing. We're going to help you find the properties, because we know it's very difficult in today's marketplace to find the right deals. It's a very competitive market. And for those of us that are finding deals consistently, I could tell you it is a very, very expensive endeavor. So to make sure that it's done and it's done correctly and it's executed correctly, we're going to execute most of the marketing functions for you, and we're going to pay for it. Okay. Next, when the right deal's found, like I already said, I'm going to provide 100% of the capital to buy it and to fix it. So what I just told you there is a partner of mine. When we actually start doing deals, you don't have to put even $1 into deals or risk your credit. So that's my way of saying we eliminate 100% of all the downside of this business. Our construction team literally comes to where the deal is, and if you need help fixing it, we'll help you fix it. We put it in the market, we sell it, and then once we sell it, we just split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And that right there is our partner-driven model. So for those of you that are checking this out and you're trying to figure out, man, is this something I want to do? If what I described to you right now makes common sense to you, makes like logical sense to you, makes you think like, yeah, I want to be part of that, then you need to check out our website at www.partnerdriven.com. And I'm sure it'll be on the screen somewhere tonight. And whether it's tonight or somewhere after the event tonight or somewhere when you're listening into in a recorded format, check out our partnerdriven.com website. And in there, you'll see other successful partners. You'll see what we're doing, and on and on and on. All right, I'm kind of getting a couple of things out of the way before we get rolling. The second thing I want to let you guys know is on March 21st, guys, we have our next live event. And I could tell you, for those of you that have never, whether you've been with us at a live event or you haven't been with us at a live event, you need to come to the next live event, okay? Because our next live event is going to be a very focused, one day, several hours, right in our office, focused on making your life easier in this business, guys. Let's face it. We all get in this business because we want the results, right? Nobody gets in this business because they want to like cold call sellers, right? Nobody gets in this business because they want to be brilliant negotiators. Nobody gets in this business so they could drive across town and talk to somebody about buying their property that they don't even know. And they don't even know how to, nobody really gets in this business for the tasks of this business. Everybody gets in this business for the results. But let me tell you something, in order to get the results, you have to go through the tasks, okay? And so in our next partner-driven live event, we are going to show you how to make the most important, most critical task easy. That's it. That's really the best way I could describe it. We're going to show you how to connect with sellers and make sellers want to sell their houses to you. That's it. And if you could learn in real estate how to get a real life seller, A, excited to see you, B, open to seeing you, right? And C, set them up in such a way that they want to sell their property to you at a great discounted price. If you could learn how to do that and actually have fun doing it and enjoy the process, then it gets, then the process of getting to where you want to be becomes fun, a lot easier. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. In our next partner-driven live event, March 21st, we're going to show you how to connect with real-life sellers in your own marketplace, how to get in the door, how to set killer appointments, how to start getting huge discounts before you even get in the door. And we're going to walk you through the deals. And when you're done, you're going to be a super duper super duper duper duper, call it. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You have to learn how to talk to sellers. So that's www.partnerdrivenlive.com. If you haven't registered yet, what is very, very limited seating. We always have very limited seating because I'm going to be there. Julie's going to be there. The rest of our team's going to be there. Our callers that have negotiated hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of deals for us and millions of dollars worth of deals for us are going to be there. For the first couple hours, we're going to get started, or I think it's like at 10 in the morning. We're going to get really, we're going to just teach you for a couple hours. We're going to lay it all out. We're going to give you all of our secrets, all of our tricks into how to get a seller wanting to see you, and not only wanting to see you, but actually wanting to give you their property at a discount. And then we're going to do something you're not going to do anywhere else. For the next 3 to 4 hours, we're actually going to generate leads for you, like wherever you're coming from. If you're coming from Atlanta, the leads are going to be in Atlanta. If you're coming in from Texas, the leads are going to be in Texas. Wherever you're coming from, we're actually going to have ready leads ready for you with real life sellers, with real life names and contact numbers and all this. And we're going to get on the phone with you, and we're going to start setting appointments with these sellers so that the next day, when you're back to wherever you came from, whether it's here locally, whether it's across the city, across the state, across state lines, and you're going to go see real life sellers when you get back, and they're going to be ready and they're going to be excited. So that's www.partnerdrivenlive.com. I do not think we're sold out yet, but I'm sure we're going to be in the next couple of days. I'm telling you, if you're going to be in the real estate, you've got to do this. It's going to be amazing. Everybody pitches in like $149. Everybody pitches something in to pick up the expenses. We have amazing lunch. And again, we just lay it out. And if for some reason you come here, you don't like it, just tell us, we'll give you your money back. It's never happened. As long as we've been doing this, it's just amazing. We did one 3 or 4 weeks ago. We're already doing deals, and the people that are there are already doing deals as a result of what took place there. So that's www.partnerdrivenlive.com. Obviously, we got our amazing app, www.dealdriven.com. I'm not going to spend too much time about there, but I could tell you, if you want to run your business from your cell phone, everything you need is in our app. That's dealdriven.com. So check it out. It is amazing. It is the premier app in this industry. No one else has it. And no one has the ability to produce just out of your phone literally everything you need to run this business, but we've done it. So that's dealdriven.com. All right, guys, let's spend the next couple minutes. I want to talk to you about the topic at hand. And that is this, like, if you ever think about this, like, there's things that we talk about that you could really screw up in this business, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. I mean, you know, let's face it, real estate is a business that has a lot of moving parts to it, right? It's got a lot of things going on it. And I could tell you, and this is the topic of the night, where I have seen more people lose money, credibility, their credit, everything they have, go into bankruptcies. In my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes people make in real estate is very simple. They learn as you go. They learn as you go. You know, people kind of try to shoot this business off the hip to a certain degree. Now, make no mistake about it. I understand why so many people literally shoot off the hip when they built the real estate business. Because a lot of things we do in life, you can shoot off the hip, right? And figure it out as you go. I mean, think about it. Like, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, right? There's a lot of things you do that you're literally just shooting off the hip, right? Like, you know, you join a new gym. Okay, well, I'm going to shoot off the hip and figure out how to work out. You know, you start a new dietary, you know, regime. Well, I'm going to shoot off the hip and figure it out. You know, you decide to, instead of going this way to work, you're going to shoot off the hip and go this way because you think it's, you know, you think it's closer. You know, you go to this restaurant with your husband or wife once or twice a week. On the next week, you're going to shoot off the hip and you're going to try something else and, you know, go to that restaurant. You know, a lot of businesses could be literally shot off the hip. And I could tell you a huge, huge mistake people make is they literally shoot off the hip and they try to figure out real estate as they go. And as many times as I've seen people fail and not succeed in this business. And guys, let me tell you something. When I always like to say things like, well, I've seen other people do this. What I'm really saying is that's me. That's like where I was. That's what I did. I was the guy that literally shot off the hip. I hit a couple seminars out there 22 years ago, whenever I got started. And I, to a certain degree, started just figuring out as I went, right? Because let's face it, real estate, you can figure it out. I mean, there is no you cannot shoot off the hip if you want to be a neurosurgeon, right? No one's going to let you say, okay, well, go ahead and slice my head open and just shoot off the hip and figure it out as you go, right? So there's a lot of things in life that you cannot, because of the way you're set up, they prevent you. Well, real estate is not. In real estate, you literally can just try to figure out as you go. And I could tell you as I look at my career, 20 some years, and guys, let me tell you, it was not a pretty start. 6 months into this business, for those of you that have heard my story, 6 months into the business, I've lost a tremendous amount of money. I lost all the credibility I had. I lost pretty much all the friendships I had because I really screwed those up. I lost pretty much all the contacts I had. Whatever there was to lose, I managed to lose. Because when I got in the start in this business, I literally thought, well, let's see. I know step 1 and 2 of this business kind of sort of well. Turned out I didn't even know those well. So I'll figure out everything as I go. And I could tell you, as I talk to people that have made a lot of mistakes in this business, as I talk to people that are no longer in this business, as I talk to people that are out of this business, as I talk to people that lost money in this business, the one thing they all have in common is they shot off the hip, right? They try to figure out as you go. And I can tell you why. And let's face it, this business, you hear it all the time, just do it, quit thinking too much about it, blah, blah. You go to any seminar, what are they going to tell you to do? Just aimlessly go out there and start doing it. What they're not going to tell you, and what a lot of people don't realize, is that this is a very intensive business on a lot of factors. For instance, it's an intensive business financially, right? I mean, think about it. You're dealing with $50,000 properties, $100,000 properties. Some of you guys live in $300,000 markets. Some of you guys live in $1 million markets. So you're dealing with a lot of financial issues. B, you're dealing with a lot of credit issues, right? In order to execute these deals, a lot of people don't have the ability to put money into them. So now you're putting, your credit on the line. C, you're dealing with what I call new task issues. New task issues, meaning you're dealing with things you never dealt with before. Like, think about it. Before this business, how many times did you have to negotiate? Before this business, how many times did you have to figure out what it costs to fix a roof? Before this business, how many times did you have to figure out how to fill out loan applications and raise capital? Before this business, how many times did you talk to real estate agents to figure out how to choose the right realtor? Before this business, how many times did you talk to the right contractors to find, who the right contractor is? Even if you do know how much it costs to fix the roof, how you know who could fix that roof, right? So there's just a lot of tasks, a lot of moving pieces involved in this business. And so what happens, and again, this is so anti what everybody teaches you out there. But what happens, because people get in this business overexcited over the possibility, over what wish I woulda, coulda, people get in this business like, wow, this is my final savior and all this and this, right? So what happens is when people get in this business, it lends itself to, I'll figure it out as I go. Well, the problem with figuring out as you go is that the downside of this business, now listen to me, it's very important. This is why so many people get in this business, but in the end, so few people make money in this business. Or even the ones that do, so few people become really successful in this business, okay? Is that the downside of this business is something that so many individuals cannot withstand. right? I mean, think about it. You get in the business and you sell these widgets, right? Like earpieces, right? Well, let's say you put a wrong order for 50 of these, right? And you spend, I don't know, $500. Let's say nobody comes in and buys it, right? Okay, well, probably most people can absorb $500, right? Now, let's flip it around. You get in and you buy a $50,000 home. You buy a $200,000 home. And then you realize, just like nobody wanted this widget, you realize nobody wants to buy that home. Well, you can't just you could walk away from $500 worth of widgets. You can't walk away from a 50 or 100, a $500,000 home, right? Because A, either you got all that money tied up into it. B, you might have your credit tied up into it. C, which is what happens to most people, you got both. You got some money and some credit tied up into it, right? So the reason this business has so many people that's littered with, I always like to share this. It's like, this business is littered with success stories, but in reality this business is littered with a lot more unsuccess stories. And the reason that it's littered with a lot more unsuccess stories is the mistakes of this business. Again, mistake, ordering wrong 50 widgets, solvable, but most important, absorbable. And beyond that, most importantly, probably something that you could, work through. The reality of real estate, and this is where so many people get in trouble, is that the mistakes in this business are not like absorbable by most people. I mean, think about it. If you put $100,000 into a house and now the house goes belly up, right? Nobody wants it. You can't sell it for 100. It's only worth 80 or 70 at best. And then somebody puts it under contract and they find 10,000 things wrong with it. I mean, how many of us, how many people out there can absorb like a $30,000, $40,000 error, right? So what really kills people in this business is the downside of this business. That's really what it comes down to. And most people don't think about it this way. Most people don't look at it this way. But the downside of this business is a devastating downside. It's just the best way I could describe it. It is an absolute devastating downside. See, 20 some years ago when I got in this business, I tell people I lost everything I had. But what I don't expand upon is that I had something to lose. And that was good. I mean, I had about $500,000 I brought into this business 20 some years ago. I had just come out of another business. I just sold it. And so I had some money to lose. But let's say I didn't have that $500,000 to lose, right? Let's say I only had $20,000 to my name, right? I wouldn't be in it today, because if I lost it and I didn't have it to lose, what do? You leave, right? You got to get out. There's no other options. Let me give you a real life example. I literally in the last 3 weeks had to absorb an extra $1.5 million, not $1.5 million, about $1.1 million that I did not know I had to absorb 3 weeks ago. 20 years into this business, I can absorb about $1.1 million. Okay, I have the resources to make that happen. But guess what? If I didn't have the resources to make it happen, I'd probably be out of business. So this mistake of learning as you go, shooting off the hip, figuring out trial by error, it works in a lot of things. I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't work in real estate. And the ultimate way of explaining this to you is this. I'm going to give you like a reality check. I know when people listen to us here, you tend to listen to us all over the place. Some of you are local to us. Some of you guys are regional. Some of you guys are national. Take a look around you. Go to a local RIA meeting. Go to a local meetup. Do some networking. And what I tell people is this. Find me a guy where you live that's been in this thing for about 6 months and is doing pretty good, or a year and is doing pretty good. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying those people are few and far in between, because the downside of this business is so devastating. And what people don't realize, when you kind of try to go at it yourself, when you try to do it yourself, and we all know this, we just kind of don't think about it and we don't admit it. But we all make mistakes, right? How can you possibly ever build a business that doesn't lend itself to some kind of mistakes? Guys, I'm 22 years into this thing, thousands of deals into this thing. And 2.5 months ago, I lost $110,000 in a deal. So don't think if you're trying to figure this thing out yourself, you're like, oh, I got this handled. You know, I got some guy that's going to give me some money. Don't think you're not going to make mistakes. They will happen. And so the question you have to ask yourself is this: are you going to be able to withstand those mistakes? Right? Because we all make mistakes. And guess what? You make them 22 years in this business. It's just at my level, I'm able to absorb the mistakes. And I have a lot more wins than I have losses. But when you're getting started, and remember, when you get started, that's when you make the most of your mistakes. When you get started, it is very common for you to have actually a lot more losses than wins, right? 20 years into this thing, I have a lot more wins than losses, but I still have losses. A first year into it, like some of you guys are, on your first deal or second deal, you're going to make a lot more mistakes than you do right things. And this business, again, a mistake in this business is usually something that has an impact on you moving forward. It's usually tied into money, tied into credit, tied into credibility, tied into time, tied into whatever resources that's going to cost you and all this. And a lot of times, a lot of people just don't have the ability to withstand it. That's why very few people become successful in this business by themselves. I mean, you know, I just challenge you to look at some new people around you and find out how many of them are making money, okay? So now I'm going to challenge you to do something else. Go find some people that are successful, that do have, you know, a dozen years behind them, that do have a couple hundred deals behind them, that do have like a trackable record of success behind them, right? And then you just start talking to them. And you just start, like, you know, figuring out what they did. And I could tell you the one thing almost every single one of them had in common. And guess what? Guess how I know this? Because I had to go through this myself. The one thing they all had in common is they had along the way something or somebody or someone that helped them along the way. Okay? Because guys, there's not enough money, there's not enough time, there's not enough resources for most people to just kind of go at it and do it themselves. And so, you know, when people say, well, gosh, Pete, what's the mistake? What's the big mistake that people make in this business? What's the one thing I got to look out for? And the answer I give is the broad answer. But it's the thing that we were just talking about, is that this is not a business where you want to learn trial by error, shooting off the hip, figuring out as you go. Yes, I know there's no barriers to entry. Yes, I know anybody can get in. Yes, I know anybody could put a property under contract. Yes, I know. But I also know that this business is littered with unexpected uncertainties, things that you don't think about, things that you don't plan. And so the question you have to ask yourself, as some of you guys are trying to figure this thing out, is can you handle the downside of this business, guys? Can you handle not making a mortgage payment? Can you handle losing $20,000? Can you handle your contractor walking out on you? Can you handle not selling this property you're fixing not for 150, but for 130? Okay. And if your answer along the way is you think about this, well, no, man, if I sell this thing for 150 and if I can only sell for 130, That's the difference between me like making money or losing money. And that's the difference between being able to buy another deal or not. But see, when you start thinking things through like that, then the realities of this business hit you. Absolutely not a business where you want to try to figure it out. You know, so many of you guys watch us on Tuesdays, and we appreciate it, whether you do it in a live environment or a recorded environment. And some of you guys are used to me having somebody with me here all the time, right? And that's Julie. Okay, Julie and I have been together forever and ever. We've done tons of deals. You know, I met Julie when she just started out as, not just, but, you know, she started out with me as a caller, finding deals, to ultimately running the companies that we run, to ultimately being a partner. But guess what? She's not here tonight. Guess where she's at, guys? She's in an environment where she's bettering herself. She's in an environment where she invested thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get around other successful investors. Now, why would somebody that's done thousands of deals, why would somebody that's currently doing tons of deals, why would somebody that's heavily financed like Julie, why would somebody that has all the resources and the infrastructure that Julie has, why in the world would she spend thousands of dollars going across country, away from her daughter, away from her mom, away from, you know, people that are important to her, away from us for a whole, you know, almost a whole week? And why would she invest time into bettering herself? Because we understand this business. And we understand this concept. This is not a business where you want to learn off the hip. And even at the level where we're at, and we're trying to always better ourselves. We're always trying to get to the next level. How do we do more? How do we make more? How do we put more things under contract? How do we close more? How do we capitalize more? How do we get more people interested in what we're doing? How do we? We know that even at this level, that for us to do that, we have to surround ourselves with the right people. We have to put ourselves in an environment that gets us better. I mean, this morning I was talking to Julie on the phone, you know, first thing in the morning, and she's like, "Oh my God, Pete, you know, he said this, and then she said this, and my God, why are we not implementing this and all this?" Okay, we grow by connecting with the right people in this business, because ultimately, every single mistake you're about ready to make has already been made in this business. Ultimately, the $10,000 you don't even know you're going to lose on your next deal has already been lost by someone else. Ultimately, the challenge that you're about ready to face has already been faced by like hundreds, if not thousands of us. And you could either go through all of it yourself, lose the 10,000 yourself, go through the challenge yourself, go try to solve this issue yourself, or you could like connect with the right people who have already been there, done that, seen it, experienced it, paid for it like 100 times over, and like try to do your best in terms of paving the road forward. So the reason individuals like 2 months ago, our whole top line team, myself, Chelsea, Rafa, Julie, you know, guess where we're at? We're all around other people at actually a pretty good environment location, spending like 4 days with them, talking about how to get to the next level. Okay, this is a business, you know, no matter what you do, no matter what environment you're in, no matter what line of work you're in, I know you're always trying to better yourself. Well, in some businesses, bettering yourself is nothing more than going through some certification course once a year, right? Or maybe getting a renewed license. In some things, like the real estate business, bettering yourself is literally putting yourself in a position of avoiding mistakes that so many other people have made. And so the devastating thing in this business, the one mistake that people make over and over again, the thing that ultimately only has very few people becoming successful in this business is very simple. Are you going to be the individual that shoots off the hip, tries to figure out as they go, you know, learn it while doing it? Or are you going to be someone that is smart enough to avoid all that? And this is why, I personally chose this topic, and B, why I chose this topic, why I feel like so strongly we have such a great model. Because in our partner-driven model, what we do is we align ourselves with partners across the United States, and we say this: we're going to give you the upside of this business. We're going to give you the 50% of the profit and blah, blah, blah. But what we're talking about today is this downside. In our partner-driven model, we're going to eliminate all the downside of this business. Meaning, if a financial mistake is going to be made, it's on us. If a construction mistake is made, it's on us. If a back-end sales price is not gotten, it's on us. Anything to do with anything that's a construction override, it's on us. Utilities, we thought it's this, but it's this, it's on us. And so why we're so proud about our partner-driven model is very simple. It's not about the upside today. Why we're so proud of our partner-driven model is that in our partner-driven model, we literally eliminate all the downside of this business. We eliminate the need for you to do it off the hip, learn as you go, figure it out as the thing gets built. Because this is not a business where you want to do that with. This is an absolutely phenomenal upside business, but an absolute devastating downside business. I have seen people get knocked out of real estate through one mistake. Think about how many other things can you do that one mistake could cost it all, right? I mean, you go out there and you screw something up in most things. Well, like, okay, I screwed it up, get up and go forward. I get it. But in this business, a lot of times you can't, if your construction goes over by 10 grand and if you don't have it, you can't just get up and go, right? If you thought you're going to sell a house for 150,000 and you need that 150,000 to move good to the next deal, but it only sells for 125,000, you just cannot create an extra 25,000 out of thin air, right? If your contractor in the middle of the job walks out on you, and now you have an extra, 4 or 5 months of mortgage payments you got to make, and you just don't have it. You can't just go to the bank and say, listen, I'm just going to just give me, no, you can't do it. So the reason our partner-driven model is so cool is that we have literally figured out a way to take our partners and literally eliminate all the downside of this business. Can we sit here and promise you incredible riches on the upside? No, that'd be silly because different partners have different results. That's real estate. That's any business. But we can sit here and tell you across the board, we can eliminate the downside. And you tell me what other business you can get into, what other real estate venture you can get into, where you can honestly say, I have now eliminated all the downside. When something goes wrong, and it will go wrong, it's not on you financially. It's not on you credit-wise. It's not on you time-wise. It's not on you infrastructure-wise. It's not on you. It's on us. We do it because we play the numbers game. We know we can absorb losses, and we know losses will happen. We hope it doesn't happen in your deal. But God forbid it does happen in your deal, it's on us. Okay? We know it's on us. And if we know it's on us, then you should be confident in knowing that literally when you become one of our partners, you only have the upside. And when you only have an upside, when you're in real estate, and literally the only thing is the upside, think about this. Like 20 years ago, when I got started in this business, since they said, Pete, you only got the upside. Like you could never lose your $500,000. You could never be the laughing stock of all your friends. You could never lose all your credibility. You can't lose the place you live in. You can't. But every time something goes right, you're going to be at the upside. I'd be like, yahoo, right? I'd be like, I'm all in. That wasn't the reality. I had the ability to share in my upside, and congratulations to me. I had the ability to share in my downside, and I did. But in our partner-driven model, we have eliminated all the downside of this business, which means if and when something goes wrong, it's on us. Another way of looking at that is we're buying you time. Let's say the first deal we do with you is a bummer, is a loss, or doesn't happen in the first week, but happens in the first, several months. It doesn't matter. It's on us. We'll absorb the payments. We'll absorb the carrying costs. We'll absorb the mistakes. You literally have nothing but the upside. And that's why we're so excited and so proud to share our partner-driven model. People get into it because of the upside. I get it. The possibility of doing deals. I get it. But when you really look at it, the thing that some of you guys need to really get excited about is we eliminate the ultimate business killer. And that is learning as you go, shooting from the hip, figuring out as you build it. You don't have to worry about that with us, because we'll coach and train you. We'll generate leads for you. We'll put up all our money for the right deals. We'll put up our construction to make sure they're done the right way. And when we sell them, we'll split the profits. And when you have no downside and you have no money and you have no risk and you're still making some money on the other side, like 50% of the profit, that's called an infinite return. And an infinite return is the best kind of investment you can make. So guys, I'm going to tell you this. Partner-driven is the ultimate way, in my opinion, of building the business, because we eliminate the ultimate business killer, the ability to really screw things up to the point where you can't continue. PartnerDrivenLive.com, March 21st. For those of you that are still a little bit on the fence, you need to come there. For those of you that are part of our world, you need to be there, because we're going to show you how to get these incredible appointments set with incredible sellers that are ready to give their properties at a great discount. That's PartnerDrivenLive.com. For those of you that are ready to get serious and ready to start doing deals, you go to PartnerDriven.com, you put your information in there, a member of our team will call you, and literally within the next 24 to 48 hours, we could be doing deals together right in your own marketplace. Guys, I enjoyed it. I always love doing these. I hope it resonates with what I said. I hope you guys understand I truly believe in this business. I believe in what it's done for myself, my family. But above everything else, the thing I'm most proud of is this partner-driven model that we have collectively come up here with the people that we work with here. It is the ultimate way of building this business. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week.